Good morning, everyone. So, I hope all of you can see me beyond this podium, right? IISc campus is a lovely place. I really love, being here. I just went around a walk in the morning because in Hyderabad, we rarely get such lung space, green areas in our city. It was wonderful walking around and got a hang of the place. Uh, well, I think a lot of speakers have spoken about data, the policy requirements and so on. On behalf of Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, I would be speaking on like the platform that we have built, the genesis of it, what's ADEX, we call it, Agriculture Data Exchange Platform, what is it about, and the way forward. In fact, in the year 2020, we actually declared the year as year of AI. And since then, we came out with our AI policy framework, and since then we were focusing on various AI initiatives. So as part of these initiatives, we actually worked in partnership with World Economic Forum on a concept called AI for AI, which is agricultural, AI for agriculture innovation. So AI for AI is what we call. And we in fact formed 4 working groups. Again, these working groups comprised of members from the industry, from academia, and from the startup, investor community, and so on, the entire agriculture ecosystem. So while the 3 working groups focused on core agriculture areas, like, initially crop planning. The idea is to identify use cases, impactful use cases, where technology can be deployed, where these technological solutions should actually, improve either productivity or income to the farmers. So these 3 working groups have come out. One is on crop planning. The second working group was on smart farming. The third one is on post-harvesting. It's called Farm Gate to Fork. So these 3 working groups came out with 30 use cases. But there was a 4th working group also, which focused only on data. So what are the kind of data sets the agriculture ecosystem needs? That's number 1. Second, once you identify these data sets, what is that we need to do in order to make those data sets accessible is what they actually recommended. So out of that recommendation came out that the country needs a data exchange platform for agriculture. Of course, since this entire initiative has been focusing on agriculture, we actually came out with the agriculture data exchange platform. So that's one input that we got. And at the same time, McKinsey actually came out with a report again in the year 2020, I think, 2021, I think, NASCOM has released it, where it said, it has identified different sectors that contribute to the GDP by making available data sets accessible. 6 sectors out of that. 1 sector is agriculture, and it actually forecasted that about 500 billion worth of, can be contributed to the digital economy by making available data in the agriculture sector. So as I said, that is the second input we got. And thirdly, we actually, we work with startups a lot. We work on we scout for innovative solutions to solve problems on the ground, real problems. We work, like as Sharadji mentioned, there are 2 options, right? One is create a buzz and then work, but we opted the first one, make your hands dirty and then create the buzz. That's the approach that we actually followed. So we have been working with many startups, and after this AI for AI thing came up, the first startup that we worked with was SatSure. All of you might know who are in the agri-tech sector. So, there are a lot of applications that identify type of crop classification, yield, and so on. But our agricultural university wanted an algorithm that can identify sub-varieties of paddy. Like within rice, you have, basmati, sona masuri, different types of. So the startup came to us and asked for data sets of different types, So it took us nearly 2 to 3 months to identify the data sets and share it with them. So then we realized, that's the third input that we got, So all this sort of led to us, coming out with this agriculture data. exchange platform. So we looked at the best practices around the world. Then fortunately, we got into partnership with Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, since they had this experience with the IUDX, and we went ahead and built this platform. And the core features, unique features, I would say. Any data platform will have certain features, right? But what this particular platform is differentiated in the sense, number one, we wanted a platform that's very thin. It's a thin layer. So we're not storing data on the platform, but the owners of the data will store the data and just make it available over the platform. It's just an exchange mechanism, that's number one. Secondly, usually when you create a data platform, you start dumping all the data that you have onto the platform. But we thought, let us actually go in a methodological way, So we identified, as I said initially, we identified 15 data sets that are very critical for the agriculture sector. Out of those 15, again, we took the top 5 use cases in the, not the data sets, but 30 I said like we identified 30 use cases. Out of those 30, we identified top 5 use cases, which would really create an impact. And those are, again, most of the speakers have spoken about it. Credit, credit is one of the biggest challenge to the farmers, getting loans without a collateral. So that's one. Second, pest advisory. Third one, soil analysis. Again, soil health report. For a farmer to get a soil health report, it takes about a month or more than that. So can we reduce that, time by giving the report in less than probably a day or something like that. So another is sharing of mechanical equipment, agriculture equipment, and 5. So use case associated data sets is the approach that we have adopted. And today, we have about 22 data sets available, of course, including the subsets of those data. We have about 39 data sets available on the platform. And more of it is from the government right now. But the data exchange platform is open to everyone, anybody or everyone can actually use this platform, provided they adhere to certain terms and conditions. So it could be startups, it could be research institutes, it could be private sector or enterprises. They can actually make available their data on this platform. And again, there are 3, as Sharadji mentioned, there are 3 kinds of data that we are making available. One is, of course, public data. Anybody can use it. The second category is non-personal data. For this, there are certain access controls put in so that, the respective entities can share data in a secured way. And the third one, personal data, which is a little ahead of the time for us, for the Telangana state, is making available the farmers' personal data. Because when you really want to issue advisories to farmers, like what kind of crop he or she needs to grow, what's the kind of fertilizer a farmer needs to apply. So for that, you really need targeted, advisories. So most of the startups were asking for personal data of farmers. So in the absence of a policy framework for sharing of personal data, we faced, we were not really sure how to go about it. At that time, we didn't have this DPDP Act also in place. So we started framing our own data policy framework. We call it Agriculture Data Framework. That's what we said. And which enables sharing of personal data. Of course, we put in certain guardrails, consent management, purpose, whatever that we have actually formulated in the policy framework for the agriculture. We actually started working much earlier than the DPDP, but it's almost aligned with the DPDP Act, which came later. So we put in the policy framework also to share personal data. So as I speak, HDFC, the largest bank in India, is actually using this data to issue loans to farmers. Next week, probably, I think we are going to have an event where, because it's the first time that we're actually doing this, an event, small event where we actually invite all the stakeholders and offer those loans to about a few farmers, Post that, it'll just go on autopilot mode. So that's one good thing that I wanted to share with you. In fact, we wanted to do it during the Global AI Summit that we just organized, a week back. And it was really successful. The entire ecosystem, AI ecosystem was there. So we wanted to really launch it over there, but due to certain operational, problems, we couldn't do that. But next week, we are going to actually do that. So that's one classic example where we are using agriculture data exchange platform to offer loans to farmers. That's one use case. And a couple of startups are also onboarded onto this platform, and they're using the data that's already out there to issue advisories to farmers, kind of weather forecasting also, I would say, regarding rainfall. But there's a lot to be done in this area. While we continue to focus on the agriculture sector, in the agriculture data exchange platform, we are planning to expand the scope of this platform further. So in the recently concluded Global AI Summit, we launched our AI roadmap or the implementation plan for AI. So wherein we said we will actually set up a Telangana data exchange platform, so TDEX. Now we are doing it only for agriculture. The scope of this platform will be expanded to the healthcare, transportation, and many other sectors that are important. Top 5 or something we'll choose, based on the needs of the departments, number one. Second, what would be the impact on the ground? What is that is really required on ground is we'll evaluate, and based on that, we'll actually expand the scope of this data exchange platform to other sectors too. So that's the way forward that we are looking at. And I really thank the IUDX team for helping us out in this very important initiative of ours. It's a great partnership that we have. And in all our initiatives, whatever we do, we collaborate, we partner with different organizations, ranging from enterprises to startups to research organizations to education institutions like IISc. So once again, I thank you all for giving me this opportunity. I wanted to keep it short. Thank you.